Hi, everybody. Welcome to Plant Powered Business Strategies to Grow Your Positive Impact. My name is Johanna, and I'm here with my friend and co host Brieanah, as always.
Hey everyone.
So good to be here again. We're like coming towards the end of the year, and we still have some interviews lined up for this year and all kinds of interesting stuff. But we were thinking that this time we're going to try something a bit new, or maybe a little bit like old, a section called, or something like what's been on our mind lately. It could be like an update or something that's been on our mind. We did this at the beginning of the podcast, a little bit more kind of like news updates, but we're going to do this every now and then. Let's see how it goes. And I thought I could start with something that's been on my mind a lot, like something annoying and frustrating. So I'm based in the EU. I'm in Berlin at the moment, but so the last week, at the beginning of October, the European Parliament voted to ban words like burger and steak and sausage for plant-based products, like food labeling. So it's not clear yet if this is actually going to pass through. There's like more negotiations to be had, and like the individual member states need to talk about it, and it's a complicated process. But yeah, it's been it's been in the news a lot here, and also, I mean, well, yeah, on the other side of the Atlantic and everywhere, because it's not the first time that they've tried this. It was a few years ago already. I actually don't know if there's like what the difference is, like the details between this time and the last time. But what is different is that the European Parliament is more conservative now. So I imagine that this is maybe one of the reasons why they're trying to like pass it. But I think more the reason is that it's about the meat lobby and like the meat industry realizing that we're like the years are passing and more people are going like flexitarian, vegetarian,
Yeah.
like going plant-based, and they're just like feeling more and more threatened. So yeah, I think they're just gonna like try it one more time, like yeah, pulling like all tricks or like whatever up their sleeve. But the annoying thing is that they're so what I've seen in the news, that the like reasoning behind this is that it's to protect the consumer,
Mm,
from being like misled. I'm gonna think that I buy like a real like animal meat based steak, and actually it's like some veggie steak or veggie burger and whatever. But and of course, like when you think about this, like when you actually just like think about it a little deeper, like words or like concepts, products like veggie burger, they've been around for decades.
yeah,
I and like it's just like so clear that the people, like actual consumers, aren't confused, and it's not misleading that it's about power. It's about protecting like the power of the meat lobby, the meat industry. And it's not even, I think, about the individual like farmers. I think they're trying to just like hide behind the like poor farmer, when actually like what like the threats to the farmers, they're like something completely different, like getting paid for their work and sustainability and like the environment and everything. But yeah, so let's see what's going to happen with this and what it's going to mean for like the, I don't know, like marketing and like
yeah,
departments of brands, if it actually passes, or like all the like it's going to mean a lot of extra expenses for companies if they need to do their like packaging, whatever again. Hopefully not, but it's just yeah, just wanted to address it. Like it's so frustrating and annoying, but I really want to try to look at it in this way, that it's kind of like the we're living like the last decades of of the like meat industry or the meat lobby, as we've known it. I hope, and I think it's just a sign that they're trying like whatever, even ridiculous things to stop the progress. But I don't think it's going to happen. And yeah, so that's been on my mind, and also just find it super fascinating, like as a language expert and like a communications expert, like copywriter and like translator. It's like words are so powerful, and yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's really silly, isn't it?
It's silly.
I can
It's
see brands like
ridiculous.
Oatly having
Yeah.
a lot of fun with that though. So
Yeah.
I'll keep us updated.
Yeah. Well, mm,
Um,
what's been on
for
your mind?
Yeah, for my update, I think I'm gonna switch gears a little bit into more of like the mindset and
Yeah.
business side of things. As you mentioned at the top, we have some interviews lined up, and we've been publishing a few more interviews lately that you all might have noticed. And I just want to reflect on how cool it is that this started as a personal challenge for both of us to show up more on the internet, to talk
Yeah.
more, share expertise more, and just get comfortable doing that. And now we have people coming to us asking to be guests on our podcast. I mean, just
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy. And so I just want to take a little minute and just like recognize how far we've come and show gratitude for this experience. And
Yeah.
I think there's also something there to be learned. I was talking to a coaching client the other day, and she was talking about how she was starting to receive negative feedback on this idea that she wanted to put out there, and she was starting to like see what people thought of it, see if it was something people were interested in, and some people were like, "Oh, you can't do this," and we're putting her down. I think it's like showing our journey of what we've accomplished just with this little fun podcast that we have can speak to instances like that where you meet friction, but you really believe in an idea, or this entrepreneurship journey of, am I crazy to quit my 9 to 5 and become a full-time freelancer? Whatever it might be that feels big and scary, whether it's taking on haters or it's making a huge life change or something simple like just putting yourself out there. Um, I think the consistency and just believing in yourself, and using this podcast is kind of an example of that, and just being open to where it can go and just letting it evolve into what it wants to evolve into. I think all too often we get discouraged, right? Little things. I remember in the beginning, Johanna, you and I would be like, "Oh, we fumbled on our words," and we'd have to like re-record, or something would be perfect, and we'd think about it all day. We didn't post at the right time, and we stressed out about it, right? All those little things don't matter as much if you're focused on that bigger picture and just going with the flow and just
Yeah.
seeing where it can evolve into. Um, so I just wanted to take a minute on that mindset for anyone that's feeling like times are tough right now, right? I'll just call it out. Times are tough right
Mm.
now. So if you're going through it and you're trying to start something new, or you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling discouraged, just stay the course. If it's something you believe in, if it's something you benefit from, continue it. Push through. I promise you, there's something waiting to blossom on the other side.
Wow. Yeah. Mic
That's what's been
drop.
on my mind.
Thanks for sharing. And I really I love a good mindset moment. Like I could I could have those well, all day, every day, almost. Yeah, thank you for sharing and share those feelings. It's never, yeah, never would have guessed that we find ourselves here and people reaching out to us, like not us having to ask people to
Yeah.
interview, and not that that's like like a have to. Like there's a lot of people that I would also like to reach out to, but it's yeah, like the word is getting out there. People are seeing us, and yeah, the goal was to put ourselves out there to be seen, but yeah, it's yeah evolved into something on a whole different level, and yeah, a man like that consistency thing is so important, and of course, like that you do something you feel passionate about, like you said, and you believe in. but yeah, the consistency and us doing this together. If anybody listening to this, like, yeah, maybe you can't have like exactly what we have in this podcast, like doing something together, but yeah, find those people to like do stuff with, or like have your back, and or like share your progress with. It's also like super important. But yeah, thanks for sharing.
Absolutely. Like,
Oh,
I absolutely. And I just want to echo the community piece of that, right? Because the coaching client reached out to me for support. So it's about having those people around
yeah,
you that kind of check you when those thoughts of like, oh, this is the wrong thing for me, or there's no way I can accomplish this, or I should just quit right now. There are people outside of what you're feeling that can help check you and continue to push you along the way.
yeah,
Because I know we've done that for each other when we're like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
are we
totally.
doing? Should we make this a podcast? I don't know. And we kind of helped balance each other through that journey. So even like you said, if it's not a partnership, find that community, those people in your corner.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
totally. And yeah, and just the idea that like, I don't know, people might get inspired by what we're doing. It's a really cool feeling. Like,
It is. Yeah, it definitely is.
and yeah, I still fumble all the time.
All the
wish
time.
wish I wouldn't, but I guess it doesn't, like, I don't care so much about it anymore.
We're
Yeah,
human, so we roll with the punches, and we have a lovely virtual assistant that helps
yeah.
edit our videos. Um,
Yeah. Today we're going to look at some ads. We haven't done that in a while. And since we're both copywriters and marketers, we love us some good ads. Can I say that for both of us? At least I do. So yeah, we've both like looked up some ads that we want to go through with you, so that you can perhaps learn something, and see what kinds of ads we like, what's working, what could be different. And Bree, you're gonna start, right? Okay,
yeah,
so
I can kick things off. Um, Before I share my screen and show the ads that I pulled for today to chat about, I just want to note, especially for those in the US, as we get towards the end of the year, it can be really tempting to dive into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday sales, and things like that. But if you are going to run ads, just be aware that ads are going to be more expensive this time of year. Again, especially in the US because of it's an election year as well. Um, so anytime that we have an election, anytime it's the holiday season, the ad spend gets a little bit more expensive. So it doesn't mean that you have to run ads and you just need a bigger ad budget. There are different ways to go about it. Just get creative. But I wanted to preface that because we are publishing this in November as people are thinking about those big holiday sales.
okay.
Um,
I didn't realize you have elections again. Is it already the like half time? Yeah.
so
Oh,
this will be for like governor and in the states and things like
okay.
that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. But the first one I wanted to show was a launch from January actually for a company called This. They're a food company, vegan food brand. And I really liked how they used humor and had a really clear brand voice. They kicked it off with this ad and then they followed it up organically, which I think was a really strong strategy. I just let's see if we can play this.
Real estate, but always wondered what was beyond the horizon. Then I tried This Isn't Pork Sausages. I thought if they could make them taste this good, then anything is possible. So now a wingsuit flyer.
100% plant-based that's so damn tasty. This changes everything. Exclusive overnight wingsuit flying abilities, cliff jumping expertise, and extreme sports insurance.
oh,
So,
funny.
right? So the whole tagline is that it changes everything. It changes her perspective. I can take on anything, right? Um, I hope that no one goes out and tries to be a wingsuit flyer, hence the disclaimer at the end of this app. But then they followed it up with some behind the scenes, and I won't turn the audio on for this one, but you see how she's doing the
Yeah.
wingsuit off the cliff, just onto a pad here. The camera crew chasing her around, but they're showing behind the scenes. We've talked about that on the podcast before, of letting people into your brand, showing them a day in the life. So stuff like this just adds to the humor and adds to that accessibility and transparency, and really helps people connect with your brand. And then just looking at their grid for a minute here, this is where the ad hit, and then they followed it up with behind the scenes here, some giveaways. But what I wanted to point out was that this is for the pooches, right? So like this is their tagline, and it's completely new. It's changing everything. It's all the language that they used. See, this isn't roast chicken and stuffing. Was on the packaging there. Even when they're showing behind the scenes and how to use their product, they're leaning into their brand voice, using that humor, using their tagline, using their brand name in really creative ways. So this has launched, which is a proper sentence and the name of the brand. So this is an announcement, right? And so they've just done, I like how they use the brand name into their brand voice, and have really supported that humor that was in the ad. So like like this one, tofu with main character energy. This is the toe future. Right. And so like they're playing on words throughout it, even beyond just their brand name. This is how you flex your protein intake, right?
Yeah.
So really creative brand, using humor, playing on their name. So I don't want people to be intimidated by a brand that does humor well, because we've talked about Oatly before, and they're like queens and kings in this space of using humor successfully in a brand. But if you have the opportunity to do some wordplay, draw attention, make people laugh, become memorable, have a pithy tagline, those will all help things in a very crowded space stick out to people. Moving on to the next one, I wanted to flag this briefly, and I wanted to say something else about Just as well. So this one in particular is a giveaway. And they chose a specific day to do their giveaway, right? Veganuary giveaway. This is in January. And so when I said at the top about ad spend getting more expensive in the end of year time, especially in the US, maybe end of year holidays aren't your thing for your brand. Maybe there's a national skincare day or something, you know, if you're a skincare brand, or there's a national eggs day and you can be the plant-based eggs like Just has. Or Veganuary is when you're going to use your ad spend versus in December. So just thinking about who you are as a brand and what holidays you want to endorse. If you think about brands like Patagonia, right? For Black Friday, they always have like a get outside campaign, because they're anti-consumerism in that fast fashion type sense, right? They want people to go and explore the great outdoors, obviously using their products, but they close on Black Friday. They don't have Black Friday sales. So when we're thinking about vegan brands that have values that align with environmentalism, sustainability, and compassion for animals, there might be some consumer-driven holidays, especially at the end of the year, that you might not want to participate in. So just something to think about of when do you want to run your ads? When is it a smart business choice, but also when is it a smart brand voice choice? So I thought that was something that Just did really well here. I didn't see end of year ads. It doesn't mean they didn't run them, but this stood out to me that they did a giveaway during Veganuary instead. Something else that they did really well was in the US, we had an egg shortage.
The type of schism you wouldn't understand. The type of schism you wouldn't understand. Oh, goodness, I would not hold your hand.
And so they're showing the empty egg shelves, but Just is there on the shelf.
Hmm.
Right? And so they had quite a bit here posted about the egg shortage and how Just was still available. Here's another one showing an empty egg container with a sign that's explaining it. And it says the most reliable egg is made from plants. Right? And so while this is in their organic feed, this is just another example of we know our brand voice, we know what we stand behind. We're seeing relevant points to really connect our brand with our values and connect to what's happening um, organically in society at the moment. So those are things to think of and keep in mind. Perhaps there's something you can throw your ad dollars behind that happens in society, right? And you're going to mirror it with your brand. Um, yep, you can see they spent quite a bit of time on the the egg
Yeah.
shortage.
Yeah.
Um,
Very smart.
yes, yeah. So speaking of oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just like these two together, the previous one and this one actually remind
Yeah.
me of a Finnish brand that also has like I can't really like translate it very well here, but their brand name is also something similar. Well, not similar to that, but like it can be used like in so many ways, like in your copy. And that there was like mincemeat shortage in Finland, and they also used that for their
No,
advertising. So, like funny coincidence. Happy to see brands who pick up on those like yeah moments in society. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Um, And sorry, one more thing on Just before we move on,
Yeah.
but I just saw their bird flu bailout sign right next to. So again, another relevant thing when bird flu
Yeah.
was popping up in the media. So they really capitalized on what was happening. I wouldn't be surprised if they boosted some of these organic posts during the time.
Yeah.
Um, and speaking of relevancy, one more brand I wanted to point out is called Purple Carrot. And here in the US, it's a food delivery service, and they deliver vegan-friendly, plant-based dishes. Some of them, like this, Buy Bloat Hello Energy, is another way that they're capitalizing on conversations that are happening in society. So I'm not sure how this is in Europe, but in the US, there's this craze right now for GLP-1s and being able to get those quickly and accessibly. Um, they're a weight loss drug, and they're
Okay. Yeah.
capitalizing on people's focus on bloating, on wanting to lose that extra 10
Hmm.
pounds, right? By saying buy bloat as the top thing. No more gut drama because people are focused on their digestion and losing that little pouch on the front, right? So being able to pick up on things that people are talking about is another thing that this brand did really well. I also really like how many user-generated content pieces they use. You'll see quite a few like selfie videos or cooking at home created for their ads here. And that again just gives that transparency, accessibility of, oh, this looks good, it's easy, I can do it. Um, that with the relevancy and some of this comparison that they do, because in the US, meal delivery services are kind of a crowded space, being able to say this or that can be another really powerful tool. So those are three things that stood out to me with their ads. But overall, in looking at ads to share with you guys, the major thing that stood out was relevancy and just keeping your finger on the pulse of how you can stand out and be a part of trending conversations on social media.
Cool. Thanks for sharing really, really good examples.
Yes.
Okay, so I found this company called Veggly, Vegan and Vegetarian Dating. I actually didn't know that they existed, and they had a bunch of ads. Here's the one that I really quite liked. Like it's very very simple. The copy just like dating, but without the question, where do you get your proteins from? And then there's like a cute photo and cruelty-free love. And what I like about this, so I mean it's very simple, but it's like starts with a very kind of like this inside joke that all like vegans at least and vegetarians share, like people like obsessing about us not getting enough proteins. And it's relevant. It's like a pain point. Like people get it. So I thought it was like funny.
I like that one a lot. I
Yeah,
also just wanted to quickly say that the photo also feels super organic. Like
yeah,
I would see a friend share that of them and their significant other, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, that's also a really good strategy if it's not user generated content to make it feel like it is, like a
yeah.
friend would share that.
Yeah, agreed. I want to say something about their like the creatives or visuals. Like there's a few options. There's also in different languages, but what I was bothered by when I was like looking through the meta like ad library is that this is the one that like stood out, and the rest are a little bit like generic. So there's one that says data vegan, explore plant-based dating options today. And then there's a bunch of those with like different creatives. And then there was a bit of a difference. I think it said, yeah, data vegan, explore plant-based dating options today. So this is a bit, I'm honestly a bit like confused. Like it's like what does it mean to explore vegan options for dating today? Like it doesn't like speak to my like pain point or like wanting to find the love of my life. And there was another one too that like not to like critique this company too much, but like I just want to point out some things so that our listeners or watchers could maybe like learn what not to do or what you could do a bit better. Where was it? Yeah, here. Like the photo is really cute, but like find your tribe, explore vegan options for dating today, and connect with like-minded individuals. So I feel like I feel like when you're on a dating app, you're not looking for your tribe, like you're looking for your one person. So I'm a bit like confused about this messaging. All the copy is pretty short, like which can work well. But I mean, I would, since they're running so many, I would love to see some like different examples, like different hooks in the copy. Like for example, this our veg match, like this feels like user generated content, which like I love. Like I would love to see more of this and maybe like some little stories from the people. Rather than just explore vegan options for dating. And then I wanted to mention about these photos. So like I imagine and also know that like in the modern online dating scene, I think people are like really tired and kind of jaded and frustrated, and it's like your emotions are involved. So I think like building trust is everything. And I feel like some of these like visuals feel a little like AI generated. I'm not sure, but there was one. And this is funny. Vegan girlfriend wanted vegan girlfriend. But this for example, like it just looks like an AI generated like picture of people at a demo, like weird like poster, play card, like whatever sign at the like behind them. So I would advise against that if that's the case. So those were my thoughts. I think I got everything I wanted to share. But I feel like this brand is going for this kind of like a funny tone of voice. Like I really love this sorry, I keep scrolling, just like dating, but without the question, where do you get your proteins from? Like I feel like they could find like more examples like that if they wanted to go with this like humor angle. That's does it make sense what I'm sharing here to you, Brie? Like,
Yeah.
do you have
Yeah,
any
no,
like thoughts come up?
I think you covered quite a bit. I do want to because you brought up AI, I think that's so fascinating to think about, especially in the ad context, right? Because it is getting more realistic,
Yeah.
and especially with video now, video's getting better, and like
Yeah.
deep fakes are a big thing that people are talking about in the US. Um, I wonder, I think perhaps the advice for our listeners is to really think about what you're posting and how you can make it feel more authentic. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's wrong to use AI, right? People are going to be using AI regardless.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
if you use AI in your business, that's fine. That's a choice. Um, but if you are going to use it, I think what sets AI versus user-generated, organic user-generated content from an influencer or from a real user of this app is that feeling that you mentioned, right? Like the picture with the placards, like it felt very static, right? That
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
perform better if it was a video of them at the protest or at the
Yeah.
demonstration or
Yeah.
whatever it was, right? Um, and the one that had the names of the people, like our match or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, again, like you said, sharing their story. They could have just AI generated those names, right? And so you're not really building trust if you're not adding more of the human element
Yeah.
into it. Like for example, I feel like I've seen a Hinge ad, another dating app, that would say like the two people's names and how they met on the app, when they met on the app, that they just got married or an update or something from when they met on the app. So those apps are going a step further and sharing a little behind the scenes. Obviously, whether it's true or not, we don't know, but they are
Yeah.
saying more than you can find love too, right? They're actually explaining the people behind the photo. So I just wanted to emphasize, because you brought up AI, I think it's a really timely and good point that we talk about it here, um, to just try and keep that human element, especially in ads. Because one, you're spending money on this, but two, like you have a millisecond to catch people's attention because they're going to scroll past it if they feel it's fake, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, This like reminds me like earlier this year when I was in New York, I was so fascinated by all the ads in the subway, and there was I forgot the name of the dating app, but they had like these little mini love stories of people like who had met on the app, and I was just like every time I like boarded a new like carriage, I was like, oh, is there one here? Like, because it's like the story of the people, like it really pulls you in. But I wish all the best to Veggly. Like I hope they're like making like good at matchmaking. Okay, so then I have another ad, which is kind of some kind of a collaboration between plant-based news and Cooked with Love, which is a movie in the making. So this is pretty like I'm curious also to hear what do you think, Brie. I found this completely accidentally. So yeah, here's the copy. Let's face it, most people shut down the moment you say vegan. That's why Cooked with Love exists. It's a genre-defying thriller made to bypass defenses and reach people emotionally without preaching. It could change everything, but only if we get it out into the world. This is your chance to support a film that fights smart. Donate now. Get your name in the credits and help launch a powerful story that could save lives. And then there's a video, so I'm gonna show it.
I've turned meat eaters into vegans on a massive, never before seen scale. Now, while you're watching this on your screen, thinking, wow, that would be amazing. I'd love for that to be possible. And it is possible. Because human mind is just a program. And therefore, it can be very easily, effectively reprogrammed. I'm Bruno. I'm vegan. I'm a film writer, director, producer, and an author in psychology, in neurolinguistic programming, and social dynamics. And for the past 6 years, I've devoted my entire life to use and apply all this knowledge to create a groundbreaking, revolutionary film that completely, deeply, utterly transforms meat eaters into vegans without them even realizing. Now, you can donate to mass launch it worldwide. and be a hero who saves lives. You will get your name in the film's credits and history as an associate producer.
Here we have a film that, like, I don't know really what I think about the film and its content. I'm like, I like this, like I'm intrigued. Like I want to go and click and find out more. And like if you think about that, that's the goal of the ad, to get the click. Like when it comes to me, it definitely it delivered. Like I'm intrigued, and like what I found fascinating about this ad is that there's this like mystery hook, like this very strong story, like mystery hook that you like very rarely see, I think, in the like vegan plant-based like sector. At least I haven't. Like yeah, like it's like I said, I'm a bit like skeptical and suspicious also because there was like so much hype, and this but like it's a very like potent like video ad. And also like I feel that the copy here, there's a very strong like clear like story narrative. It starts with a clear problem like that's very relatable to like people like me. Like yeah, I get it, like let most people shut down the moment you say vegan. And then they have a solution. They have this film, and then they're asking for you to contribute to make it happen. And then they like stroke your ego at the end and kind of like invite you to become a part of it by offering, you know, your name in the credits. um so yeah, like I this definitely stirred a lot of emotions and like intrigue in me, which is why I wanted to like bring it up.
I think it's a good opportunity to also talk about when you're launching an ad, thinking of the goals, right? So here, I almost feel like this is an awareness ad, right? That
Mhm.
they're making this video. Like, sure, there's a CTA to donate and to get their name in the credits, but I almost feel like it's more of a this is happening ad because they take
Mm.
a lot of time explaining the film and who this guy is, and less on like the movement, and what adding your name would mean for you. And it felt more awareness than
Yeah,
ETA driven. So that's something to think about when our listeners are setting up their own ads. I think it's really beneficial before you ever press publish to think about what you want from the ad
yeah,
and what success looks like for you. So if their goal here is to get donations, is to get people to click through and want their name in the credits, I might go about it a little differently and make it more user focused, right? Because they spend a lot of time in the video talking about the why he created it, who
mm.
he is,
Yeah,
right? And like you said, they stroke the ego by having your name in the credits, but they don't really stroke the ego in the video of why it feels important to have my name in the edits, why I
yeah,
want that the desire didn't really build there. Um, but if the goal here was awareness, to maybe this is the first in many sets of
yeah,
ads that they're going to run, right? And they're starting to warm up their audience
yeah,
to knowing that this project is happening, then I think it's successful because they introduce the director, they introduce his why, and they softly give you the opportunity to experience it with them if you would like to. Um, so yeah, as we get into whatever campaign you're running and ads you're creating, think about where you are in your launch, in your campaign, why you're running ads, and then what you want out of that ad. And again, there could be more coming.
yeah, yeah,
From this partnership. So I'm not saying that they did it wrong. I'm just giving advice to our listeners to really think about that and when they go to write their own ads.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I'm glad you mentioned, and like the CTA in the ad did link to, or it's like learn more, and it links to the website of the film, and like I like didn't go through everything, but it was like, yeah, like you said, it didn't go like to the donation page or something. It went to the front page where there was like comprehensive, like it was very comprehensive about, yeah, the director and the, like, you know, neurolinguistic programming and all this stuff. So yeah, I think you're right there. But
It's a
yeah.
good point too, Johanna, that awareness ads are becoming more of a thing.
Mm,
Because really, in a lot of ways, if you don't have a huge audience already, you know, we have to pay to play on a lot of these platforms. And so you will see some of this content-driven stuff ends up as an ad or ends up boosted because that's what gets seen now, right? Um, so really working with a specialist in ads, if you're
yeah.
new to ads and understanding the platform, understanding how to get your content seen, can be really beneficial too. Because you might want to start with awareness and introducing yourself and what your brand is and what you stand for with that Learn More CTA.
So it looks like we've been talking for almost an hour already, so it's probably time to wrap up. But yeah, the time flew again, flew by again so quickly. Um, Thanks for like finding these ads for us, Bree, and yeah, our listeners, watchers, viewers. Hopefully you found this helpful. And if you have, you know, maybe your own ads or ideas for ads you want our opinion, like send them over. We can like have a look on the show.
That would be fun. Please take advantage of that, y'all.
Yeah.
Would love to look at your ads.
Yeah. And we're always looking for people to interview. So if that's something you'd like to do, just write us an email. But yeah, that's it for now. We'll see you in December, and until then, take care. Bye.